How many of you actually celebrate entrepreneurs? If you don't, do you know India has such amazing entrepreneurs? They do not take the limelight, but they have everything and they've done everything. They've become a legend. And one such person is sitting with us, Shri Thirukkumaran Natarajan sir. Thank you very much, sir, for accepting the invitation. Being a part of this journey where we learn from great leaders like you. And so, very early days, I would like to ask you something. What was your childhood like, sir?
Good morning, Shrikant. First of all, I thank you for having me on your podcast, The Gilded Mic, and I wish The Gilded Mic goes leaps and bounds from here.
Thank you, sir.
I am the only son for my father and mother. My father was a first generation doctor, and my mother was a homemaker. They gave me a good childhood. In fact, I had studied in 8-9 different schools.
Okay.
My father worked for a company called Shakti Sugars, which is very famous in this Kungu region. In a sugar factory, they had a hospital. He worked there. He started his service there and ended his service there. So basically, he didn't do any private practice, but he worked for a factory. And I'm fortunate to be the only child of them, and they had taught me a lot of good values, especially to be honest and straightforward. That's the message from my parents. So I'm following it still now, and I'm grateful to them.
So when we say that, the values usually come from parents and the generations that come, but do you think that kind of part is slowly missing out somewhere in the generations? They're always looking at, rather than building values, they are trying to build something else other than with which they are unable to go to leaps and bounds. What is the importance of having correct values at the early stages of life?
The younger generation now also are more adaptable, and they also know the values. They also respect the values of the family. It is not that there might be one or two incidents. Even in my generation, there are instances where family values are not being followed by some, but it doesn't make a generic picture that the younger generation or the generation is not following the family values. There are quite a few instances. And I see, especially in Tirupur, a lot of second generation taking over the family business. Because here it's all family business. It's all a family business. It's not a business of a corporate, or it's not done on a corporate method. So it's all family businesses, and they come voluntarily and take over the business. It's not that nobody is forcing them. Even in my daughter is a doctor by graduate.
Okay.
But she has come voluntarily and into the business. For the last 1.5 years, she's into the business, and it's all voluntary. So I would appreciate the younger generation where their thoughts and their thinking is completely different from us. Because I think the older we grow, the risk-taking ability also lessens. But I think the younger generation is willing to take risks. I can see a lot of enterprises in Tirupur, especially, flourishing, and also you see India as a whole. Startups, Perplexity.
Yeah.
It's been owned by an Indian.
Yes.
And it's from Tamil Nadu. He's from Tamil Nadu. Yes. Sensible people, younger generation, to be
a part
honest.
Of it, yeah? What was the age when you took up that you started working? What?
I don't know. My father is a doctor. My daughter is a doctor.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't know. In between generation, we don't shine. So for me, studies was very difficult.
Okay.
topic or a subject for me. So I just finished my diploma in mechanical engineering.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do. Then I went and helped a friend who I was having a small shop in nearby in a village called Kaundapadi. It's a small town.
How many years back are we talking about?
This is around 1988.
1988.
So around, 37 years back.
Okay.
So this is where I started my journey.
So when you look back, when you look back today, which was your toughest youth period? I mean, because and that shaped your resilience or your understanding.
88, when I finished my studies, then I was a certain period helping my friend in a shop as I told, in the nearby town. Then I realized that I should do something for myself. Then I went and started working to a contractor who was working for BHEL.
Oh, so you were working as a...
Because I was in the mechanical background, I just said it was the right thing. And that is my toughest period in my life. I realized something, we need to work hard to earn a place for you. That is where I realized, because I started my working experience with a 300 rupees salary per month.
Oh, goodness.
So then I have to, for that I have to travel from Trichy. Because BHL is in the outskirts. It's not really in Trichy.
Okay. So
but it's an outskirts around 15-20 kilometers away from the town. So I had to take a bus. So even the 300 rupees salary would not be sufficient for the bus, for my stay, for my my daily
expenses.
Food. So I got help from my father and mother. So, but that was a learning experience, a tough learning experience. Journey I started.
My God, so you were working under someone, you started with such a modest salary. From there to here, I mean, how did this transition happen? This is extremely important.
What happened is, was toughest phase. Then during a weekend, I came to my native, my mother's native. Then I met a person who said garment manufacturing hub, where it's flourishing and it's upcoming. And I think Tirupur export started booming in around 85. Yes. It started, then I thought, why not we all join together and start a unit in Tirupur. So the journey started like that. So with the 5 partners, for me, I was no experience. There was only one guy who was experienced. So with that, we started a unit in 1990.
1990?
Yeah.
Okay.
We started manufacturing for exporters.
Okay.
So that is how my journey started in
the garment
business. But I had no experience. Without experience, I came into the business.
Okay. So this is a very interesting point, sir. So you were working. You know that this is going to be there. But what made you change and come to this decision where you had no experience about that?
As I was a mechanical background, so I said, let something related to the mechanical field, we'll go. So that was my first intention. Then this opportunity came. As I said, limited resources. At that time, Tirupur had limited resources.
Yeah,
there were not many.
Limited.
At that time, 90s, I think there were a lot of opportunities for enterprises to come and start up and do. See, for me, starting without any knowledge on a garment, coming from a mechanical background to the garment industry, that was the opportunity at that time available for me. So that it was on an accident, I told you.
So, I mean, so there's such a great to understand, sir. At that point of time, when there was hardly any resources in Tirupur, hardly any help from the government or the people and everything, you started at a time when it was the toughest to start a business and get into the business where you didn't know much about, or rather anything about, and you just came into being. So now that you're in the business now, so did you start enjoying initial when you started working, or you were like, no, yeah, not happening?
Yeah. It had these ups and downs, I'll tell you. 1990, I started, I think I told you 5 partners we signed.
Yes.
So there was a big age difference between me and
The rest of
the
them.
rest of the other guys. So a lot of thinking didn't align with what my thinking was. When I gradually started coming into that business, understanding what it takes and what it takes to be a business. See, there was a learning experience. It was a learning experience for me. And there were a lot of things which didn't align. We didn't align. Then I said in 92, I think it will not work. So I thought, and I had invested 1 lakh. My father gave me savings of 1 lakh. There was a lot of misalignments. And the company also was losing its track at that time. So, and I thought myself, what is this? So, I am going to lose that 1 lakh because it's almost gone. What should I do? Then I said to my partners, then for me, because there is no money to also give it back to me, that 1 lakh what I invested. There's no money because they were all gone. We were all invested. And
Yes.
I didn't want to disturb that business. I said, you continue, you guys continue. This is my learning experience. So, because your business you don't know. So, you gave 1 lakh, you invested 1 lakh. So, then you learned from it. Then come and start your own. So, then I went to my father. Then I said, I told the story because as I told you, we were with the moral values and we, my father also treated me as a friend. So, there was no hesitation to say what was the experience I gained.
So you could share very, very openly to your father about it.
Yeah. Then he sold a piece of land, then gave me another 1.5 lakhs to start Esstee Exports. So Esstee Exports was started in 1992.
1992.
With a very 1.5 lakh investment. Then I borrowed some money from my grandmother and some relatives. So additional borrow, I had to borrow. But my father gave me 1.5 lakhs. So the others were, I have to repay it. So,
Yes.
So that is how Esstee Exports started.
So that's
with a 1.5 lakh capital and 2 lakhs borrowed money from others.
So at that point,
especially from my grandmother.
And you were alone by then, as in like you.
You were alone, yes.
You
I
were
was
all
alone. I was alone by then. I started the company on my mother's name.
Mother's name.
That's what it's EST, ESSTW is Subulakshmi and Thirukkumaran.
Now we know Esstee Exports. What does the full form? Sir's mother's, and of course
my name. Yes.
Sir's name is included in that. Okay, sir. So you came over here in 2 years. Like Tirupur is built on relationships.
Great.
Right? Now, once you started by your own, I mean, first part is when your partners got to know that you've started your own this thing. Did they have any kind of a feeling, oh my God, he could have done it. He could have got more capital in the same business. And the second one, who showed trust in you that time that you were able to start working freely?
I was open to my partner when I said it is not working. So I have to start my own.
Okay. You already were
so
very
I
clear.
already were clear because it was not that without telling them I started Esstee Exports. That doesn't work.
Of course.
In a way, they said, why not? Why not you do here? I said, because then when I put a capital there, everybody has to contribute.
Correct.
And the difference of opinion, it's quite natural.
Very natural.
There was an age difference. At the time I was, to be honest, in 90s, I was 21. They were 40. They were on the late
double
30s.
your age almost.
One was 40, one was late 30s. So there was a big difference, big gap. And I think it's a collective failure. It is not.
I understand. It's not one person's
fault. I will not blame them and it didn't work. Even if you to revive it, has to work. And I said, whatever thing we can do, I will start it on my own. And then the journey started, as I said, in 92 with Esstee. Esstee, in the starting, you asked me what are the struggles we had. Yes, of course, it's still with the limited capital. of 1.5 lakhs, you will need to buy machines.
Yes.
You need to rent a building. You need to give advance to a building. Then it was a struggle. It was in the initial. Then you have to find people who can stay with you.
Yes.
That is one thing you need to
Toughest, I
also
think.
toughest thing. But at the time fortunately I had one or two people because when you start slow. Then I bought machines which were needed. Then at that time you need to take exporter will give you an order. You need to take yarn and to finishing. So you need investments also, capital for that.
Course.
So with the limited resources I had, so I could somewhere I had to borrow some money from my grandmother and some of my close relatives. So this is how it started.
I would say at the correct time, there were some people who came in as a blessing, and we were able to set up Esstee Exports then.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, see, I had one or two people who started working for me. Yeah. And we were only two people. We would literally two people.
You started?
One in charge. And we used to go. We would go to exporters, ask for orders.
Okay, so basically you went to exporters' factories and told them, this is what we do,
Yes,
this is what
yes.
we do, and that's how
And they don't give, not like now here you give, now they give you fabric and from stitching.
Yes.
At that time it was not like this.
You had to do everything
You had
by
to take
yourself.
orders, you had to go knitting, you had to go dyeing. I have literally had one bike because you need people to travel, a diesel bike at that time.
Okay.
You know that bullet?
Yes.
You fit a diesel engine and how it worked. Tirupur at the time, to save fuel, you had a diesel bike.
Yes.
Then you go to your knitting units, you take your fabric, you go dye, you go sit in the dyeing because there were limited resources.
Yes.
It was not as organized at the moment how it is now in Tirupur. So you had to do it on your own. So that's how the journey started. Then 95, around 95, I think, 94, 95, I was fortunate to meet a good person named Mr. Pico Feith.
Mr. Pico Feith.
He's
Okay.
He's a Dutch guy from Netherlands. Still,
Dutch
I'm
touch.
a very good family friend. We are very good
lovely.
family friends, and still he is an agent for one of my client here.
Oh.
So he was an importer at that time. So with the trust of him, I started exporting.
Lovely.
So that's how my export journey starts. When I tell I get goosebumps because I can never forget him in my life because at that time he knew what was it.
You're right.
He saw the company. We had nothing. Infrastructure was nothing. It was just sewing machines and the place he saw. The trust what he put on me was enormous. And I think that is where I started exports.
Yes. So he saw the potential in you. It was tremendous, and the faith he showed in was by giving you the order of doing that certain particular thing. At that point of time, when you got the first order, when you started exporting, I mean, how was your? Was there a time, a moment where you just close your eyes and then feel that, okay, my journey has just started now, I have to push more. So what was the working hours that you were doing during that time, just to prove yourself a point, prove that, that sometimes you don't have to prove for others, you have to prove it for yourself. So what was the number of working hours that you were clicking on that time?
Correctly remember, I think we started with 6 orders.
6 orders.
6
okay.
orders. First export order was it's I think God's gift, which came in, and that's how the journey started. The feeling what you had, of course, when you start doing direct exports, that's a different feeling of you doing a job work for another exporter. That's a different level. He was an importer. He was supplying to other brands. In 95, there were quotas.
Okay.
So importers had the leverage and always had the due to relationship, they might pay for the quota or they might take a share of the quota because sometimes you have to pay a premium for quota.
Okay.
So at that time it was like this. So importers always, the brands would work through importers rather than work directly. I'm glad that we are continuing till the friendship. Whenever he comes here, he stays at my home.
Oh,
So that's a relationship we have.
that's the kind of relationship you've built over the years.
Yes.
Now, like you said, you started, and then the export came in 1995. Was there a time where you took an order and it failed for some reason? Something like this also happened?
Of course, any person will have failures. Yeah, of course, you have to fail to win.
Fail to win.
Yes, fail to win.
Fail to win, yes.
This is important because any entrepreneur I should not be scared of failures. Failures are part of a learning thing, what you get, a learning curve, I would say. You just need to learn on your failures and try not to repeat it. I had one person who came and joined me, as a partner not on records, but on mutual
mutual understanding. Okay.
96, 97, he took a big order.
Okay.
With a client in France. He quoted a wrong price because I was not zero in marketing, because as I said, I was a manufacturer
Right.
rather than a marketer. He took a loss. I think at that time it was a big order. I think we lost around 1.5 to 2 crores.
1.5 in 1997.
Yes. 1.5
That's
to
a
9 to
massive
2 crores.
number.
It was a massive order. And I also don't want to tell the client because the client is not anymore there. He was an importer. But it was a huge loss. It was a huge loss. And around 1.5 crores we lost. He suddenly left because he didn't have anything in writing. He has anything means officially.
Yes.
We had an understanding.
Yes, it was only
We
verbal.
have an understanding. We had a writing partnership deed which was on writing, but not because it was on a proprietary concern. I told you in the beginning it was started on my mother's name.
Correct.
Why I told you. So we continued with it. Now the responsibility of the loss on my mother
Had become.
and the company as burden, and it put me in the corner because I didn't know. I had nothing. He suddenly left because he had nothing. He had only a piece of the partnership deed where it's not, the company itself is a proprietorship. But as an understanding, we were on the process of changing into a partnership. But by the time this order came, it went all very fast. And
So the entire liability was
on me. Even the bank liability, the things you have to pay to your suppliers. And I had a zero marketing. And rubbing salt on the wound, he went to a friend and they both started. There was both a backstab also happened at that time.
Ouch.
That company is still there. It's working. I don't want to again name that company.
No, I understand.
But there was a backstab by my person who joined me, and also by my friend who took him away and I think brainwashed him to the loss. I think we could have worked on a way that to overcome that loss. But I think, I don't know what he thought at that time.
But they chose not to speak.
Chose not to speak. Because the order was confirmed by him. It was not my price.
Right.
I didn't work out the price and as I told, I was zero at marketing. So these are things which happen in your life. So that was the biggest failure I had in my life.
What was the emotion that was going through, sir? Because you were doing well, and then suddenly a huge loss. I mean, in 1997, if you quote 1.5 to 2 CR, was a very big loss. And at that point of time, did you go to if there was a mentor, or how did you overcome this? What did you specifically do?
I got married at that time.
In 97, you got married.
Oh. September, I got married. This came as, he gave me the person who was with me, he gave me a wedding gift of walking away in 10 days. So in 1 week, in 1 week, I think, not even 10 days, 1 week, I told my wife, we were newly wedded. I had to give, because I don't know what to do, because it was a corner. It's nothing. I cried myself, but But you have to tell your wife, your life partner has come. Somebody is who thought that want to spend a life with you and has to start on a back note.
Yes.
And I told my wife was understanding. We didn't even go to the honeymoon because we had to set these things right. Then I started rebuilding. Then what was the thing? Then I went to my friend, Mr. Peacock, with I said, this is what happened. And then you have to support me more. So he started supporting me more with orders because at one point of time we were working through Men's Club. Men's Club was his company, his previous company, Mr. Peacock's previous company. Then in 2002, he introduced one of his clients to me.
Okay.
So that was a turning point in our, see, whenever you failure, there is a door which will open later. We started rebuilding, and 2002 when he opened a direct client, then he was buying through an importer. That client was buying. Now when you go to a supplier, they will get a price point which is attractive to them,
yes,
and I'll get a price which can be paid more than the income.
Correct.
Then I think we started working with the client. I'm still working with the client in a smaller way, but not in a big way. At that point, I think that was a turning point in 2002 where we had things started favoring. But 97 to 2002, I think even Peacock Feeds supported me. But a growth trajectory, faster growth trajectory started in 2002.
2002. So, like you said, you spoke to ma'am about it, and ma'am was like, okay, no matter whatever happens, happens. So, this also reminds me that most successful business entrepreneurs, they have a very, very strong family value, and they also have their life partners, their parents always supporting. What is the role of family, if I may just ask? How important is family to you? There is work, but there is family too.
Family is irreplaceable. They are the core strength. Whatever you do, good or bad, they are always there to support you. Right. They will be the first and the last person to be there for you.
Yes.
Always. So, a family value. I have a very good extended family also. My in-laws and around and. I'm a person who always believes in relationships.
Okay, when we talk about the scale, the culture, the leadership, I mean, you as a leader, what has changed over the years in the Esstee Exports itself? Is there anything that you have changed specifically according to the business environment outside which is going? Or do you feel that my rules, my values are the same, let the world do whatever they want? So what is this? Some people say, no, never change your values. Some people say, no, you'll have to change your business values according to the market. What is Esstee Exports? What is the cultural shift, if there is any?
Yeah, as I told you, in 97 when we faced that failure, when we started rebuilding it, first is the trust of your suppliers. You have to repay every penny you owe them.
Correct.
We did that first. We did that so that the trust on Esstee is built. As a brand, you have a trust of... these are the guys who will support you when start growing faster. So as I said, 2002 we started adding clients in this thing. See, you cannot change your core values. So you should never be honesty, being transparent to your client, and being honest to your employees, and valuing their contribution to the growth of the company are core principles you should not change. But adapting to the market needs is one thing you have to shift. You cannot be said, I will only do this style. I will not be able to do this style. You have to adapt to the market requirements.
Correct.
Especially the requirement of the market. Because the market reaction is, the client is reacting according to the market requirements.
Yes, very much.
So you can never, there are two things. You cannot shift on your core values. Don't shift on your core values irrespective of what the market brings in for you. But shift to the requirement of the market. That is what is important.
That is what is very important. Let's say, sir, in a large export house or a large export manufacturing unit, there are a lot of people of different cultures, different regimes, and it is very difficult to set everyone in a single track.
Correct.
How have you managed to do that all these years?
See, it's a challenging task every day. There will be, for example, in any organization, everybody has a different thought.
Yes.
So you have to give their values. You have to listen to them. First, you have to be a careful listener what they say, because they even a layman might have an idea which is useful for the organization. As a whole, you have to take the ideas, discuss with the team, also convince them this idea is good. So make them believe and convince them. That is the role of my responsibility, sole responsibility, which makes them align with the thought of the organization. It is not only my thought. It is all people around us who are working for us, because they are the pillars of Esstee rather than me. I'm just a bridge between them.
Sir, I mean, you're being very modest, but I know that, even building a bridge, or there has to be a certain light. I think you are the light provider for your employees. Now, I would ask one thing, sir. As a leader, there are various ways everybody approaches business in a different way. Now, do you have, are you a leader like an open door policy wherein an employee can come to you any time of the day? It can be, let's say, even from the lowest ranks to the highest ranks. Or is it that you feel that there has to be certain distance between the employees and, let's say, the higher rank people? Because if it comes in a proper channel way, you'll be able to understand better, or how is it?
See, it is up to the, I'll tell you, here is an open door policy.
Okay.
If there is this is a family run business. It is not a corporate run business. Corporate run business has structure. Sometimes employees don't come, but I encourage them to come if they have a problem. If they have a problem, tell them it's open door. I always tell my door is always open for you. It is not that they cannot come and approach me. Departments also have responsibility. But if there is a serious issue, for them it might not be serious. For the worker or for the staff, it might be serious.
Correct.
So they can approach me directly, any issues. They know that our organization has an open door policy. But at the same time, I also will take into confidence the required department, and along with them, and find a solution for them.
So what are the three things is, according to you, is unpardonable if any employee or any family member or anybody?
Being dishonest.
Being dishonest.
And doing mistakes are part of the...
Correct.
Even if it's a big mistake or it's a costly mistake to the company, doing it unknowingly is okay. But being dishonest and doing a mistake purposefully is unpardonable. That is what it is. Because that is what you're pulling the organization down.
Yes.
You're pulling yourself down. You're pulling the company down.
Okay, sir. So please also tell me, there are various practices that you follow which makes Esstee Exports stand globally in terms of quality, compliance, innovation, various other things. As a leader in the recent times, which is the toughest decision that you've made, and that has gone, sometimes even your family doesn't understand that, or sometimes even your employees don't understand that, but you have taken the decision and the result has come out good, and how have you faced that challenge?
I would say, there are people working for us for 20 years, 25 years, 20 to 25 years. There are a lot of people in the top levels working there. They know the DNA of the organization. So understanding the DNA is important for them, any matter. Only we are doing a lot of fashion styles.
Yes.
I still believe there is a scope to do a lot of large quality volumes on basics or some things like that. And we are successfully doing with one of a client in Belgium. We have pulled up orders from Bangladesh.
Oh, lovely.
Everybody was little spectacle, except me and another guy who's looking after. He's a DGM, product development and marketing. So we both believe that this can turn around, and that company is we are one of the top ranked supplier there.
That company.
Yeah. And we are one of the most valued supplier for them. So being there and being successful is brings a lot of satisfaction. But I think there might be things within the organization that large quantity volumes will not be suitable for us. But I think we should bring in a culture there. We also have to look large volume orders. I'm saying bigger
Yes.
ticket size orders. So that is one thing. I think people, it's little difficult to convince them and say that we are not only a company who can do only fashion, also do a lot of basic
Regular
stuff.
basic
We are
stuff.
trying to do that, and we are roped in one or two big ticket clients also.
With Esstee Exports as well, you are also the General Secretary for Tirupur Exporters Association, which is one of the strongest associations in the world right now. How has that, helped you, or how is that that responsibility coming to you as?
First of all, this post, General Secretary of Tirupur Exporters Association, I owe a great deal of gratitude and my sincere thanks to my mentor, guru, guide, our honorary chairman, Padma Shri Dr. Esstee Exports, because this is the post he had trusted and selected me to contest as the General Secretary of Tirupur Exporters Association. And I also sincerely thank, through your podcast, all the members of the association for getting me and President Sri K.M. Subramanian elected unopposed for the 2 consecutive terms. So my sincere thanks to both our honorary chairman, my president, and my beloved friend. He's a good family friend, Mr. K.M. Subramanian, for the past 30 years. And also my sincere thanks and my namaskaram to all the members. Without them, the trust they have, I cannot be the General Secretary of the Tirupur Exporters Association.
How is that, sir? For example, what's your vision with Tirupur Exporters Association, with the entire team behind? Where do you see Tirupur in the next 10 to 20 years?
First and foremost was transforming the building what we had, because that building was already 32 years old. So then we immediately renovated that building. Within a span of 6 months, we had a world-class infrastructure building available. So that was the first thing which we did. And a lot of bringing Tirupur as a sustainable hub, because we are already an ESG compliant cluster naturally.
Yes.
Like due to in 2010 when we started the zero liquid discharge, or the water conservation, or the energy, what we have, renewable energy, what we produce.
Even the tree plantation.
Mass tree plantation. These are initiatives which Tirupur Exporters Association, with the contribution of Tirupur Exporters Association only, it was possible to achieve this scale. So I think we are portraying this cluster as a ESG compliant hub. That is our main thing, and bring in more business, and also advocate a lot of what are the needs to the policy makers, both at the state and central level.
Just to tell you a little bit about Dr. A. Shaktivel sir, the amount he has stamina to work still, it is unbelievable, sir. I mean, I have met him at different places, and when you say that he's a mentor, I think he's a mentor for all ages. Anybody who's from Tirupur, he always looks up to sir and tells him. I have met him at flights. I have met him at Bombay airports, and I keep wondering. I don't travel that much. That the number of flights that sir takes, then because I have done a podcast with him as well, and when I was asking him, his main thing, what he had mentioned is that I need a team like myself, and that is why you are there, sir is there, my father is there. So when we talk about this portion, did you also face the crisis when most the dying houses and all the places were sealed by the government, that this is not to be done?
Yeah, 2010, 11, I think everybody in Tirupur faced this crisis when the Supreme Court ordered the closure of all dying
Yes.
units. I think a lot of people shifted to Ahmedabad.
Yes, they shifted long time back to Ahmedabad at that time.
I think that was the time. I think that's what a visionary leader like Dr. Shaktivel Anna plays an important role. Due to his intervention with both the center and state, with some help from the center and the state governments, we are able to set up zero liquid discharge as a whole cluster, not as individual units.
No,
now
sir.
That is only the visionary leadership.
I would
Because without
congratulate
him,
you, sir.
I think it would not be possible.
I would congratulate the entire cluster for having a zero discharge liquidity right now, because it is practically impossible for others to understand the importance of this in today's time.
We are aiming at a 10 billion, double the turnover what we have.
10 billion?
10 billion, around 10 billion US dollars. We are around 4 to 5 billion at the moment, around 5 billion. It's easier to cross 10 billion by 2030.
By 2030.
Because in 30 and more emphasis is given on man-made fiber.
Right.
With the push of the new team, we have a very sustainable committee who's headed by Mr. Anand, our joint secretary. He's the joint secretary. This has been advocated by our honorary chairman for several years. Shaktivel Anna has advocated to shift us to man-made fibers. Okay. I think a lot of people are doing man-made fibers at the moment.
Yes,
I think from 10% it has gone to 15%. Our aim is to bring around 30 to 40% by 2030. Because the world's consumption, 60% is man-made fibers.
Right.
So
sustainable man-made fibers.
And again, sustainability comes with man-made fibers. Because it does need less water, less running time in a dyeing. Like a polyester needs a less running time than a cotton. Or also less water consumption than cotton. So these are in itself is and recyclability on polyester is much easier than cotton. Circularity is also easier than in cotton. So shifting to man-made fibers, bringing it to 30% to 40% by 2030 is our aim, and also double the set a target of 10 billion in vision with our target set by our Honorable Prime Minister for textiles.
Okay, so let's talk about on the broader term of India. Now, because like you were saying, other than Bangladesh and other manufacturing countries, bigger ones, favorability was towards India. Now, in the next few years, do you think, India is going to become that global manufacturer, that power is going to come back to India? Or like China is doing extremely well in terms of manufacturing, processing, fabric. So where do you see India when it terms of global outreach?
I see India as a bright future.
As a bright future.
I'll tell you two things, what we need to do and why India has a bright future. You know, semiconductors.
Yes.
I think we are now, as iPhones, one of the largest exporter of iPhones than China. It was very easy to meet.
Yes.
So we need to scale up, scalability, so and technology upgradation has to be done to scale up and automation, because there is always going to be a shortage in a very fast developing economy. There is going to be a shortage of manpower.
Yes.
For that you need automation. See, you need to automate even your sewing operations, your cutting room, everything, your dyeing unit, or your spinning, where now
Yes.
your modern spinning, you need I think 1/4 of your normal conventional spinning. I think the modern spinning units needs only 1/4 of the workforce than your conventional spinning, what it was before. So these are areas like that. In different areas, processing, you need to invest on a lot of man-made fiber processing units, dyeing machines. So for that, I think government has come with a PLI scheme, but it's a very big ticket scheme, which is a 100 crores
Yes.
limit. I think the government has to consider, because most of the garment manufacturers are MSMEs,
Yes.
micro, medium and small enterprises. For them to scale up, I think that the ticket size of investments or schemes have to be less, so that they can also scale up and become big manufacturers. An opportunity to grow, and also we also requested the government give greater market access, like
Yes.
conducting fairs in top EU destinations, India-centric fairs, rather than going and participating in a fair,
Multicultural, yes. I
in a
totally understand.
multi-country fair, or rather than India-centric, and focus more on, and this cluster, since it's an environmentally, socially governed cluster, we can be portrayed, and EU by 2027 they're going to implement the digital product passport,
Okay.
where you can track right from where the cotton is grown to where it's sold.
Yes.
So you can track the complete supply chain. There we are already ready. We're just waiting for the European Union to set the norms and identify the certifying agencies. So once that is done, this cluster is ready. So that's why I said ESG plays a very big role, and India has a bright future in the ESG.
terms of that.
And Tirupur, especially Tirupur, has a very, very bright future.
Tell me, sir, if today, like at this point, there is a young lad who's about 21, 22 years old. He doesn't have any knowledge about exports, and he wants to start up manufacturing, and he wants to export. How should he start, or what should that person do?
First and foremost is come and train in an export house, even if you don't get paid up.
Okay, so first like an internship or
do
something,
an internship.
something. Yes.
Do an internship for 2 to 3 months. Go from the scratch, right from the yarn you take. You visit all the because first starting a unit, you don't need to go to the spinning mill.
Yes.
See, because yarn is there. See what are the different type of qualities available. Even it's man-made fiber, cotton or polyester. Go to a knitting unit, dyeing unit. See how the process are done. Because it's all available. You have a follow-up. You go with them. Work with them. There is one successful entrepreneur, startup, which is very, very successful. He trained in Esstee. I'm proud to be that.
Lovely.
Now it's I think it's almost around 200 crore brand now. One of the partners, promoters, is trained in Esstee. So this is how you be patient. You come, you just first do an internship in any concern, in any export concern. Then try to start slowly, and then if you want to start a brand, you can start. If you want to start doing exports, you start doing job work for other exporters. Set your factory, then go into marketing, and there are a lot of, as you said, fairs are organized. But we are also requested to give market linked scheme, which is not available at the moment.
So the person has to first learn.
Yeah, you have to be patient. Because
Patient.
success doesn't come overnight. Success comes by time.
Okay, sir. Now, you can look into the camera now, and one last message that you'd like to give the youngsters, the businessmen, anybody? What is that personal message with what learning that they've gone through this? What do you want to tell them?
First and foremost is drive with your passion. I tell the youngsters, go with your passion, go with your thinking. Take risks. Of course, take risks. Be sensible in taking risks. And also, don't be afraid of failure. Fail to win.
Today's learning, fail to win. This is his main message that we are all going to keep it in our hearts. Thank you very, very much, sir, for being a part of this.